Rhoads induction into Hollywood's RockWalk. I'd like to introduce our host for this evening, or for this afternoon, from KNAC, from KLOS, Stu Hernandez.
How's everybody doing today? Let's do this thing. I want to say something really quickly. It doesn't have a whole lot to do with the event per se, but it does have to do with why I'm standing before you instead of Jim Ladd. We lost a friend and a colleague last night, J.J. Jackson. We all knew him from MTV. I knew him personally. He was a beautiful man, and I'm happy to be here, but I'm really sad for the reason, and we're going to miss J.J. So, how about Randy Rhoads and the Hollywood and the RockWalk? You should know some of the VIPs that are in attendance today. I think they're all in front of you. Rudy, Lemmy, Zach, Ingve,
Did this come off of your thing? Okay.
the Prince of Darkness himself, Ozzy Osbourne, Sharon, Frankie Banali, John 5. Who am I forgetting? James Lomenzo is reported to be around. Chuck Wright, Bob Kulick. They've all come out. Lemmy from Motorhead. Again. Gotta give him his due. Today, we're here to honor the memory of an extraordinary musician. He's a man that during his brief 25 years on this planet touched millions of people just like you and me with his talent, and he left a musical legacy that will never, ever be forgotten. Randy Rhoads was more than just another heavy metal slinger. He was an innovator, a songwriter, and a study in opposites. Fiery and frenetic on stage, he was also unassuming when out of the spotlight. He was a guy who gave us powerful yet melodic riffs, and also a man who loved the gentle intricacies of the classical guitar. And perhaps most telling of all, Randy was a person who, despite the obvious distractions of fame, always remained focused on his craft. His first major band was Quiet Riot. That opened up the door for Randy, but it was his meeting with Ozzy Osbourne that kicked the door down. Randy was just 22 when he joined Ozzy for the Blizzard of Oz album. He wrote many of the songs on that record. And after Blizzard of Oz, of course, Randy went on to write music for the next album, Diary of a Madman. And it's his work on just these two albums that have guaranteed Randy Rhoads a lasting place in rock history and his induction today into the RockWalk. I'm told that this next part is one of Jim Ladd's, it's probably his favorite part of the entire day. When he gets to introduce somebody from the city of Los Angeles. You may know who this person is. I would like to introduce a RockWalk regular. She is here to deliver a proclamation from the city of LA honoring Randy Rhoads from the office of Councilman Tom LaBonge. Please welcome Michelle Fleenor.
Good afternoon, everybody. It's really wonderful to be here today, and it's especially wonderful to honor Randy Rhoads. And I'm here to present this certificate in honor of his life and his talent. In memory of Randall William Rhoads, it is a true honor to present this certificate posthumously to Randy Rhoads, a rock guitar genius. His talents will never be forgotten and will live on forever at the Guitar Center, Hollywood RockWalk. March 18th, 2004, Tom LaBonge, Councilmember 4th District, and James Hahn, Mayor.
Michelle Fleener, everybody. Coming up next, I'm just wondering. I'd like to say something. How many of the people in attendance here today, how many of you actually ever saw Randy Rhoads live on stage? Okay, how many of you, like me, I'm embarrassed to say, never got the chance to actually see Randy Rhoads live? Let me see you. It's a lot of us. It doesn't diminish the fact that he touched our lives with his music. Those 2 albums were the soundtrack to my life. I'm sure that I would have been at his show. I probably was on restriction at the time. I'd like to bring somebody up who has probably a couple more words to say, probably a little more eloquently than I do. A couple of guys from a band that we all know and love. First up, Frankie Banali from Quiet Riot.
Hey, how you doing? I'm not going to take up too much of your time. I didn't know Randy as well as some of the great people here, but he was truly a wonderful person. All of you guys know what a great musician he was, but as a person, he was one in a million. Difficult to find another one like him. There's some people here that should definitely be thanked. Some of the original members in Quiet Riot, Rudy Sarzo, and Kelly Garney, who was also in the band, as well as the original drummer, Drew Forsythe. They were able to share some real special moments early on in Randy's career. A huge debt of gratitude needs to be paid to Ozzy Osbourne and Sharon Osbourne, because had it not been for their foresight to see what a talented musician and what a wonderful person he was, perhaps a lot of you would have not had an opportunity to have seen that. So thank you for that. And last but certainly not least, to Ms. Dolores Rhoads, thank you so much for bringing. Thank you so much for bringing such a wonderful angel into all of our lives. God bless you. Thank you.
Frankie Banali, everybody. Please welcome Rudy Sarzo from Quiet Riot.
Quiet Riot and Ozzy Osbourne too. Okay, guys. I hope I can get through this. So, okay. I met Randy in the summer of 1978 when I auditioned for Quiet Riot, the local Los Angeles band he formed in the mid-70s. The first thing I noticed about Randy was how effortlessly he managed to alternate from playing rhythm to soloing without losing the fullness of his sound. Though we were just jamming on a blues bass riff, I could tell that he had a rich musical vocabulary, reaching well beyond the average rock guitarist. During the next couple of years, Quiet Riot performed at the Whiskey, Roxy, and Starwood, not far from where we're gathered today. As we struggled to get the attention of the music industry during the new wave and punk era, we managed to carry on with the support of our local fans' love for Randy and the band. Thank you to all the fans. And it was during this time that Randy asked me to join the teaching staff at Musonia, his mother's Dolores music school. And I watch him daily teach the students, some who are present here today. Any students here today? There you go. Thank you for coming down. With love and dedication. One afternoon, I asked him about his approach to teaching, and Randy told me that he believed that his students weren't any different than he was at their age, and they just couldn't wait to get up on stage and tear it up, and that it was his responsibility to prepare them for that moment the best he could. In the winter of 1979, Randy left Los Angeles to join Ozzy, to form one of the most prolific musical partnerships in heavy metal history. After being creatively stifled by the local Los Angeles music scene, Ozzy gave Randy the complete freedom and encouragement to fulfill his musical potential as a guitarist and composer. While in England, Randy took the opportunity to further his musical knowledge by taking classical guitar lessons from some of the most renowned guitar teachers in London. His newly acquired music skills can be heard on Revelation Mother Earth, Diary of a Madman, and D, a composition written for Dolores, just to name a few. In March of 1981, Randy recommended me to Ozzy and Sharon, and shortly thereafter, I became the bass player on the Blizzard of Oz and Diary of a Madman tours. I'm eternally grateful to Randy for giving me the opportunity to share all the wonderful and crazy, fun-filled moments we all had together. And while on the road, Randy would go through the yellow pages as soon as he checked into his hotel room and phone a local music school just to book a classical guitar lesson. Most of the times, Randy would wind up giving the starstruck local music teacher the guitar lesson, but still paying for the lesson himself. In his heart, Randy never lost his love for teaching. As we gather here today to celebrate Randy's contribution to the music world, it breaks my heart that he's no longer with us. Okay. But I rejoice knowing that his music lives on forever. Every time I hear Crazy Thing being played by young guitarists while checking out a new amp at Guitar Center, when it's played over the PA system at a sporting event, or when I turn on MTV to watch the Osbournes. Randy, we miss you, we love you. Thank you for coming and sharing this joyful occasion with all of us. God bless.
Rudy Sarzo, everybody. At this time, I'd like to bring up Brady Steele from Mr. Holland's Opus Foundation for a charitable donation that's going to be made to the Mr. Holland's Opus Foundation on behalf of Randy Rhoads by the Rock Walk.
Thanks. On behalf of the Mr. Holland's Opus Foundation, I'd like to thank Guitar Center, RockWalk, and all these assorted forces of kicking ass for this donation. There's too many kids across this country who sign up for band or orchestra or jazz band and don't have an instrument to play on. The Mr. Holland's Opus Foundation makes sure that any kid who wants to play in a band or an orchestra or jazz band or anything else like that has something to play on, has something to take home to practice. So thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Brady. I'd like to bring up now from Marshall Amplification, Nick Baucott.
Thank you. Unlike some of the people here, I did have the privilege of seeing Mr. Rhoads play, and also had the privilege of meeting him because I'm old, basically. And every now and again, someone comes along who raises the bar. They're few and far between, but when they do come along, God bless them, because they inspire people such as myself to practice harder and try and do everything we can to be better musicians and better band players and better songwriters. And Randy was one of those guys. There's some people here like that as well today. But the real reason I'm here actually is to say a few words on behalf of a gentleman who was already inducted into the Rock Walk of Fame. His name is Mr. Jim Marshall. And he's the guy whose name is on that huge monolith that stands behind any guitar player worth his salt. Like Randy Rhoads, for example, and Mr. Zakk Wylde, John 5. Mr. Malmsteen back here, Mr. Kilminster. Not a guitar player, but a bass player who plugs into Marshall because he should. This is what Jim wrote, and it's my honor to read this. It says, to Mrs. Dolores Rhoads, care of Nick Baucott, that's me, Marshall Amplification USA, and this is dated March 12th, 2004. Dear Mrs. Rhoads, words cannot express how delighted I am to hear that your son Randy is being inducted into Guitar Center's Hollywood Rock Walk on Thursday, March 18th, 2004. It is an honor that his unforgettable talent and marvelous musical legacy is truly deserving of. Unfortunately, I never got the chance to meet him, but was all too well in person on the induction ceremony, but my thoughts and best wishes will be with you that day. Congratulations once again. As I've already said, this is an honor that Randy's tremendous talent and legacy truly deserves. With very sincere regards, Jim Marshall, OBE. Thank you.
When I got up this morning, I had no idea that I was going to be standing here doing this today. It's about an hour and a half later, I got this phone call. So, I don't have anything very eloquent prepared. Jim wrote what I read to you earlier. I was just thinking to myself, you know, I can only guess I'm sure that any of us can only really guess, like, how many times we put on Blizzard of Oz over the course of the years. How many times we've put on Diary of a Madman over the years. I mean, you can't figure it out. We hear this music every single day. It's woven into the fabric of our lives, whether you ever met Randy Rhoads or not. We all know him, and we all will always know him. And I think that's something kind of profound that, you know, it just kind of slips through the cracks. We don't really think about it. I'm really, really honored and touched to be here today. I believe that somebody else here probably has something to say. Ozzy Osbourne, folks.
It seems such a long time ago that I played with Randy Rhoads, and yet it seems so like yesterday I knew him. But all I can say about my memory of Randy Rhoads is that I will never forget, as long as I live, that he was a small guy with such an enormous, giant talent. And he's so sadly missed in my family, and there's not a day goes by without us thinking of him. He'll never die in my heart. He's there forever. God bless Randy Rhoads.
Yes. It is now my distinct honor and my privilege to introduce to you the woman who made everything here possible. Ladies and gentlemen, Dolores Rhoads.
Thank you so much. I first want to thank Guitar Center for this fabulous day, wonderful day, and the great honor. Thank you so much. Thank you. I deeply thank Ozzy and Sharon both. They were so important in Randy's life. And I want to thank, really, most of all, the fans. You're great. You are just great. Thank you for being so sincere for so many years. And I know that Randy touched many of your lives in a special way. So thank you again. And thank you all for coming today.
Hi. Well, listen. This is such a testament to Randy. 22 years after we lost him, you've all come out for him. It's such a testament to how great his talent is that we're all still here. We don't forget him. None of us will ever forget him. And it just fills my heart to see you all here for Randy. And also, we lost Randy, the world lost Randy, but Ozzy and I gained Randy's family, so something came out of it. And we all love him, and I can't say anymore. Thank you for being here today. Thank you.
Oh, it might be. Zach, come here.
This bronze bust will take its rightful place here at the Guitar Center Rock Walk for now and forevermore.
Kathy, get her in. Put your hand on there. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to thank you for coming to this great Rock Walk event. Let's let Randy hear you. Come on, let's hear it for Randy. Come on. Let's hear a little bit of Randy's music, too. Let's hear it.